Good afternoon, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 15th edition of Crimson Tide Live, right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football and simulcast on the Voice of College Football X account. I'm yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and I got my partner in crime with me as always every Monday afternoon and on the post-game shows most of the season, the one and only Johnny Burts, as we go over our takes on what's going on the latest news and notes on the Alabama Crimson Tide, including the recruiting notes, how the playoff field's going to work out tomorrow night for Alabama, our recap on Alabama Auburn, and much, much more. And I'll tell you, folks, it's going to be a wild ride. How you doing today, Johnny? Happy 15th.
Oh, yeah. Doing well. Glad Iron Bowl's over. And, it was a little frustrating at times, but glad it's over and glad the good guys won and, got to slay those bad guys. And so as long as, good, glad, all's good when Alabama wins and Auburn loses.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It was a fun one, but Christmas is coming up. Oh, and by the way, a happy birthday to my IT guy for the Jacksonian and Crimson Tide Live. We want to wish you a happy 55th birthday, Dad, if you are watching. So we're dedicating this show to you. And a little something nice for the college football fan in your life is the disputed national champions, college football's historical reset of the 90s. And you know what's funny, Johnny? Today is Cyber Monday.
Oh,
so that
yeah.
means, so it's a perfect time to go out and get the college football the disputed national champions. And it's a go-to. Let me see. I'm going to get, nope, that's not it. But I can tell you right now, it is a go-to. You'll learn about what happened in the 90s, how the decade changed sport, why the championship results should be questioned, how to correctly think through the scenarios, and you appreciate the accomplishments of teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in-depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined a decade of college football. Grab your copy now. But we got ourselves a fun right. Oh, there it is. Come on in, go and get it. It's a go-to, especially for the college football fans in your life.
Yeah. Wives, make your husbands happy.
There you go. Especially this holiday season, this Christmas.
Stuffer.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh man. And of course, we got the Alabama channel, where you can become a YouTube member. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member. And with that, you get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and the live chat. Custom emoji to use in the comments and live chat, and you get a shout out. For $4.99 a month, you get priority replies to comments and access to monthly hangout with us and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend. Connect on social media with us and give out all kinds of content requests. It can be more recruiting news. It can be interview requests. It could be literally anything you want. And we're not going to let the rain nor sleet nor snow stop us. We will fulfill your content requests. That we can promise you. There we go. And now we got the recap of the 2024 Iron Bowl. That was, I'll take it. It wasn't the best game, but, I'll take it. A win's better than nothing.
Yeah, and I thought both teams represented themselves. I mean, overall, I thought they represented themselves pretty evenly. I thought Alabama had several chances to kind of take the game away, and it kind of slipped away from them there in the first half, and then in the third quarter. But overall, I think Alabama did what they needed to do. I thought they played well at times. There obviously, we'll talk about mistakes that were made. But I think Alabama did exactly what they needed to do. Kind of, I guess I don't want to say dominated the game, but I would say they controlled the game. And Auburn, any chance they had of making a move and trying to get the turn the momentum of the game, I think Alabama kind of stuffed that, goal line, fourth downs and things like that. So I think Alabama, it was obvious Alabama was a better team.
Yeah.
Alabama could have done more, could have capitalized a lot more, had opportunities, and slipped away, that type of scenario. But every time Alabama needed to step up and take control of the game, they were able to do that. So,
well, something I found was our rushing yards. We really picked up the running game against Auburn. We had 201 rushing yards against them. And what was something we didn't have when we lost to Oklahoma, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and almost lost to South Carolina? We didn't have a running game in those games.
Exactly. And whenever Milroe's able to run the ball, we win. Whenever they're able to closing down, like we talked last week, I thought Oklahoma shut it down and said, hey, we're going to force this guy to throw the ball, and did that, and good things happened for them. I think Auburn went into the game with that mindset, but I think Alabama learned I saw a couple of changes that they had done during the course of the game, preparation for the game, that is, and was able to counteract anything. If Auburn wanted to force Milroe to throw the ball, I thought Alabama had a game plan and alignment and a blocking scheme that kind of prevented that. And so Milroe runs the ball, we win. You contain Milroe, he's running the show.
Oh yeah,
which is not good. You got to have more than one. You got to have more than one way to skin a cat, right? The old saying.
Yep, it's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
So
you look at the stats, pull up the stats here, and we'll take a look at them. And I kind of confused, not confusing, but it's kind of a little eye opening to me. A couple of things with regard to Auburn.
Here we go. Let's okay. Yeah, we're not gonna play the ad. Get out of there. Get out of there, ad. Yeah, we got a show to do. Breaking the fourth wall, y'all.
Here we go. Yeah, got a little spiral of going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've had enough of emu, Doug.
Yeah. Great old internet connections.
Yep. So Milroe had 3 rushing touchdowns, and of course, we don't see passing touchdowns. We were lucky in a way, because that fumble by Ryan Williams almost hurt us.
The early fumble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was some takeaway. I mean, there were some plays there that obviously we were in good situations to put points on the board, and then mistakes, and then, those type of challenges kind of presented themselves. And so I felt like Alabama probably left 10, 14, 17 points off the board. Ryan Williams early in the game, the fumble there. Oh, is that not? That's a different one. But anyway, so you can see Milroe there with 104. Jam Miller, 84 yards right there. Obviously, I saw several instances where Alabama pulled in that 3-3-5, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. Peyton Thorne pulled it down, started running, and got some yardage and got some first downs on that. But overall, statistically, Alabama pretty much led the game. Now, if you look at the total yards, have you got that? Can you pull that up? Total yards, move that, and let's see. It had, I think, Auburn at 300 and something, Alabama. Yeah, team stats, scroll down. Total yards, you can see Auburn at 399, Alabama at 459. Mm. But, the deal there, you can take 80 yards of that off the board because that was that last drive. The little chunk chunk drive there at the end of the game. The game was pretty much over. Auburn, was throwing the ball and all that kind of stuff, and drove it down the field. And so they got 80 yards there on just the last drive when time ran out. So you look at that, I think Alabama, you can see, probably dominated the game statistically. Could have had more passing yards. There you go. And you can see 80 yards on the last one. So Alabama pretty much controlled. And you look, to illustrate that, you look down at the bottom, time of possession, Alabama 36, Auburn 23. And so the total yards there, you got some chunk yards there at the end of the game. So I think it should have been around 459, maybe 320, but Alabama's playing, prevent defense. But you look up there, and here's something scary for Auburn. I mean, this is Auburn's 4th consecutive losing season. I mean, when's the last time you saw that for Auburn? I mean, that is, next year. I mean, Hugh's going to have to pull something out next year, or he's gone. But 4 consecutive losing season. That is it's kind of what Alabama was back in the the days after Stallings, when we were in kind of purgatory trying to figure things out and all that kind of stuff. So Auburn's right there, and I know they're talking a lot with regard to how great the new recruiting class is going to be. Blah blah blah. I don't care about that. I don't care about high school freshmen. I've told you all along, if you're going to build a team, you're going to have to build it with the portal. And so you can have a top 5 high school recruiting class, blah, 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 not going to get you anywhere. What's the portal transfer scenario? Because that's where they're going to find their quarterback. Who's going to start at quarterback for Auburn next year is, not on the team probably right now.
Oh, so, man, they get Miller Moss.
That's interesting. So I thought the game stats kind of take away the last drive. Alabama controlled the game. You looked, I didn't point out the third down conversion rate. Auburn was like 4 for 13, 14, something like that. So Alabama pretty much controlled the game. I know Auburn fans are going to argue about that. We had a couple of good drives, but in the end, Alabama stepped up and shut it down. So Alabama, I'm not going to say dominated the game, but it was pretty sad. After start of the third quarter, Alabama, takes a good, started taking control of the game, kind of, let it sneak away. And then, of course, the refs, that scoring drive, if I remember the right one, that call over there on the sideline, that was offsetting penalties. They called 2 penalties on Alabama, gave Auburn a first down, kept the drive alive and all that kind of stuff. But obviously that wasn't the call. I don't know I really haven't been able to find. I know there's one out there and somebody will post it and we'll see it. Really a definitive video that illustrates what took place over there on that sideline. But it seems like Malachi wound up getting a penalty from it. I know number 8, Smith, Devontae, I think he wound up getting those 2 guys. But Auburn was involved just as much as Alabama. So that should have been offsetting penalties. So kept the drive alive. And I don't know. Refereeing is, I don't know what they're thinking sometimes.
Oh, a lot of people have not been too happy with the refs all season this year. It's been sloppy. And our buddy Willing D says that Pat Dye is rolling through the grave. Oh, yeah. He's not happy, I'm sure.
4 consecutive. Now, Alabama, Alabama, I don't know if they've had 4. It's been a long time, but I know Alabama went through, the issues in the late 90s and the DeBose and all that. Now I know in the early 2000s, Alabama had, okay records in the early 2000s with Shula, but they called the program a lot. I don't know what was going on there with the athletic director in the program and improper benefits, not only football, but other parts of the program. And they took, forfeited wins and stuff like that. And it looks like they had a losing season records, but they didn't. But 4 in a row for Auburn that's pretty troubling. If I'm an Auburn fan, you cannot be happy. And I don't think even after this season I see the light at the end of the tunnel for them. Everybody wants to slam it up, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
True. But, this is our longest winning streak since 1973 to 1981 against Auburn. We've now got a 5-game winning streak. We haven't lost to them since 2019. So that's pretty good.
Pretty good. That's pretty good for DeBoer to come in. I know we've had issues and people have complained, but I heard him talk during the game. I think is he the first coach to first season win 9 more games?
He's the 6th coach in the history of the Iron Bowl to lead his team to victory in his coaching in his first ever Iron Bowl. The first one was Harold Redrew in 1948, where we thrashed Auburn in a 41-year reunion, 55-0 in 1948. Gene Stallings led Alabama to victory against Auburn in 1990 and ended
I was at that game.
Yep.
That's when we talked last week. Elena, my wife, and I wound up on the field after the game.
Terry Bowden in 1993, Dennis Franchione in 2001, and Gus Malzahn in 2013 for, that game we won't talk about.
Well, I'll tell you what, for DeBoer to come in his first year, and yeah, we're all scratching our head on the Oklahoma and the Vanderbilt, that kind of stuff. But he's won 9 games. And if he wins, if he gets in the playoffs or if he doesn't and wins a bowl game, first season, win 10 games. I mean, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he inherited some good players. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't like Saban when Saban came in, and I mean, he had nothing and had to build and was able to pull a great first season off. But yeah, for DeBoer to come in, it could be a lot better. But I mean, you can't 9 wins.
Yeah.
And Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, that's a plus.
Huh?
Yeah. So we got something. We still got that winning streak over Auburn. Okay. And, Will was talking about Alabama bottomed out before they got Bear Bryant from 1954 to 57. Yes, that was the last year of the Red Drew era and the J.B. Whitworth era. I mean, you want to talk about god-awful era, the Whitworth era. That was a failure to communicate right there. And Will Indy also says, give DeBoer 2 more years. Once he gets his own players, they will be title challengers all over again.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't think we really know yet because the full extent and the full measure of the portal has not. We really don't know how to calculate and how to evaluate, and I don't even think coaches know how to manipulate the portal. And then every year you're bringing in. It used to be every year you're bringing in, maybe 1 transfer, maybe 2, and then freshmen. And you really didn't expect too many freshmen to be able to play. But now you're you're losing players, you're bringing in players, then you got freshmen. And so the full extent as to how the portal affects, I guess, traditional winning programs is unknown. We won't have enough data probably for 3, 4, 5 more years.
Yeah. But before we get to our take on what could happen for the playoff rankings on Tuesday night, got a little something we want to tell you about. The Voice of College Football X account, where if you love top-notch discussion, debate, and analysis with no off-season in all of college football, go to the Voice of College Football, give it a follow on X, where you can get some of the best top college football knowledge. Looky here. We're 4th wall inside a 16th wall inside 64th wall. What do you know? We're breaking the 4th wall here. And we got Missouri Live, Texas, Alabama. There's today's edition of the Big 12 Live show. So there's so much incredible stuff going on the Voice of College Football. And there's the news on Miller Moss. Sam Pittman returning. How will things shake out tomorrow night? Cliff Notes version of the Michigan postgame show where they went on for 15 hours. My God, that's nuts. And there's the schedule and so much more incredible stuff from all of college football from Mark Rogers and friends. where you want to tell all your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that the voice of college football is creating, all right here. So now we've got playoff rankings. We're just sitting, waiting, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I talked a little bit about this on the post game show on Saturday, which I compared our circumstances to 2017 and 1965. Now, no way am I saying we're winning it all like those two teams. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm comparing is our situation. We need a few dominoes to fall our way. 1965, that season opening loss to Georgia really hurt us, and that tie to Tennessee biting us in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
And we won out the regular season, yes, but we needed some luck to fall our way a little bit. Number 1, Michigan State, we need you to lose UCLA. That happens. Number 2, Arkansas to lose to LSU. That happens. All we have to do is just beat number 3, Nebraska. We're good to go. 2017, we're sitting on pins and needles. What do we do, Scoob? We lost to Auburn. We lost to Auburn 26-14. So what do we need? We need the Buckeyes to beat an unbeaten Wisconsin team in the Big Ten championship game. What happens? Ohio State beats Wisconsin. We get in. So while we're playing against Auburn on Saturday, we need a little bit of luck because I'll be honest with you, I don't think we can rely too much on South Carolina Clemson. We need some reliance from the Syracuse Orange. Now, I know they're not magical like they were with Jim Brown and Ernie Davis in the 1950s, and I know that they're nowhere near the Donovan McNabb era, but they have been very magical with Fran Brown in his first season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can help us out a little bit against the Miami Hurricanes. Oh, who are we kidding? Miami is a complete and total disaster all season. They're falling apart, but they come back. Fall apart, come back. Well, it bit them in the rear in the Carrier Dome. And while we're playing against Auburn and beating them, Syracuse beats them in tight fashion, knocks them out of the ACC title game. But the question is, does that help us tomorrow night?
Well, obviously, yes. Okay. But then we got to go through the championship games this weekend and see what pans out with regard to that. Right now, I would say Alabama would probably be in, but who knows what's going to happen? Come Saturday. The bottom line is when you're trying to have a playoff, you ought to play out. It's kind of like high school playoffs. You got to win your conference or your area. In Alabama, we call it an area. Some places call it a district. You win your district. Some places they'll allow the winner and the runner-up, and then that's it. But NCAA, here we are. We're still voting on teams. It's nothing set in stone. We've got the at large, and so there's the controversy. Which at large team, they're going to allow in, and so we're back to square one. Somebody's going to be happy. Somebody's going to be, well, one or two are going to be happy. Everybody else is going to be mad. So we're in the same. They haven't solved anything. They've just drummed it up and created more chaos. But pull up this is what I've got. You can pull up my little, what I've been thinking. There's Auburn 4 consecutive losing seasons. My little 2024 playoff.
Here we go. Oh, my mistake. That wasn't it.
There we go. So here's what I've got. And mine's just, I know they'll seed based on the conference champion, the conference runner-up, and what seed and what blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm just saying top 12 teams that I think should or have the best chance of getting in there. All right. So obviously, doesn't matter. Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Ohio State, they're in. I don't have no idea why, but I'm going to assume Indiana's going to get in, even though they got drilled by Ohio State, even though they have no top 25. They have beaten nobody in the top 25. So how on earth? I mean, there you go. That's why people are scratching their head. What are we thinking? Then you have the playing games. All right, SMU versus Clemson. Even though Clemson lost South Carolina, boom, Miami lost. Now Clemson, SMU. The winner of that one will be in. The loser is out. And I'm even going to say SMU. They're going to be out. Their schedule is not very good. All right. And then, so playing games, you got the winner, Boise State, UNLV. Whoever wins is in, the loser's out. You got Iowa State, Arizona. Whoever wins, the loser is out. And then, of course, at large at the bottom, you've got Alabama, you've got Miami. So here's and Ole Miss. So here's your, who is going, and there's where, once again, we're NCAA. We're still voting them in. There's the controversy. But I think if Boise State wins, they're in. If they lose, they're out because they have no top 25 wins. Same with UNLV. If they win, they're in. If they lose, they're out. They have no top 25 wins. The Iowa State, Arizona, winners in, losers out, and then there you at the large. And I think probably Alabama probably make it in. Strength of schedule, Alabama's ahead.
Yeah.
And you can take, even though Alabama lost to Vandy and Oklahoma, strength of schedule.
Well, you ever want to talk about strength of wins? You can't really find that many on Miami because, I mean, what do they have? A victory over Cal? Oh, we went to College Game Day. Oh, you want a cookie for beating Cal? Bye, Miami. Alabama and Ole Miss, on the other hand, does Georgia winning the SEC title game on Saturday help Alabama and Ole Miss's case?
Yes. Yes, if the committee is fair. Yes.
Okay.
Now, of course, Alabama, Ole Miss did not, play each other. So, but so it comes down to that. I just think Alabama probably the better draw historically. I don't know what other factors, and I don't know if it's just personal. Whoever's voting makes this decision. It's just a personal belief, but I think quality of wins.
Oh yeah. And we got our guy, John DeAnimo from Michigan at The Voice College Football coming in the chat. How are you doing tonight, good buddy? Congrats on that monumental upset over the Ohio State Buckeyes. And chat's having some fun saying, wondering whether Michigan can get in since they got the best win in the country against Ohio State. Well, we all know, like, not our Buckeyes here at The Voice College Football, but we know one particular Buckeye that's whining and crying about, oh, Ryan Day sucks. Like, yeah, okay, dude. Back in your
Hey, one of my neighbors in Huntsville, I live downtown Huntsville or whatever, is a big Michigan fan, and I've never any whatever thought with Michigan, or Ohio State, but he is such a good Michigan fan. We talk Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and everything. And so I can't wait. I'm on the road right now, but I can't wait to see him, just see that big smile on his face. Michigan comes out of nowhere and pulls that off. And they've had a tough season. I know he's going to be smiling so big. So I can't wait to see the gentleman. He's a good guy.
Oh, man. He'll definitely love
Michigan fans I like.
Oh, there you go. I'll tell you this, though. He's going to love the magic that John DeAnimo and TJ Ronan create on Michigan at The Voice College Football, and the magic that you, me, and Jeffrey are creating on Alabama with The Voice College Football as well. So there we go. And
so where are you at on the tomorrow? Where are you thinking Bama's going? What do you think? 11, 12, 13, 14. Who do you think is going to be up in there?
I think we're going to be 11th.
11. And what makes you think that?
The win over Georgia.
Yeah.
That really helps us. That is the ace in the
12?
hole in our back pocket.
Yeah. Who's 12?
I'm going to say Boise State.
All right. And of course, if they win, they're in. If they lose, they're out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and Will says Miami and Ole Miss are toast. I can agree with that. There's a comment somewhere. There it is. Carrie Carson says this committee is from up north. Not going to be far. If Clemson wins, SMU will take the last spot. I feel like SMU gets the once over by the committee. I don't know why, but I think the committee has not paid enough attention to SMU football, and I think that's biting SMU in the rear. Yeah. Because, like, honestly, that win from Georgia definitely comes in handy.
Hearing a lot of computer.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night. But the most important rankings are going to be what comes out on Sunday. That's going to be the really important one. Because we're really going to find out. Because once all the conference title games are done, because like if you're in the SEC or Big Ten title game, you're in. Can't say the same for the ACC, Big 12, or Mount West. You can't. I mean, the American Athletic Conference has basically played themselves out, especially with Memphis beating Tulane. And Will says SMU should be fine if they lose, but Clemson has lost to every team with a pulse. So I think the Mustangs will win and Alabama will get in. Yeah. But what are we looking at for recruiting? Like, that's what I'm curious about, because we got to have something to really get happy about. That's going to be our recruiting class. Like, early signing period is tomorrow. We've got 22 players coming in, committed, all over the place. We got our guy, Keelan Russell, coming in. 247 has us at second. Georgia's ranks first in according to 247. We're number one according to On3, and number 3 according to Rivals. So we're only down to Georgia and Ohio State. That's doing Ohio State a lot of good.
Yeah, but I've already said I'm just not paying much attention to it. But yeah, Alabama, what they got to do, and I'm not going recruiting some high school player, but Alabama needs an edge rusher. They need to go out and find one, and it'd be great if they were. You could find one in high school that come in, but I'm talking about somebody that can immediately play, and so that's going to be the portal. And then to me, and you can show this those little clips I showed you with regard to you know offensive tackles in Alabama. I mean, they're just getting Milrow. I mean, he's getting blown up. I mean, it's just too big, too slow. And so they got to have offensive tackles and they got to have edge rushers. And to me, you got to go find experience. So that's great to have good recruiting classes, that kind of stuff. You can use it promo and that kind of stuff, advertisement. But to me, you got to go get somebody with experience out there that come in and play right now.
Do you think Miller? Oh yeah. Like, do you think Miller Moss is considering transferring to Alabama? Like, I mean, I think our quarterback situation seems to be fine because I mean we've got Ty Simpson and
Jack, you're cutting out. I can't.
Oh, I was saying that. Do you think Miller Moss could be the guy that comes in for Alabama, or are you cool with the quarterback situation as is?
I'm sorry, you're still cutting.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if it's me or you're talking about the quarterback situation.
yeah. Mhm.
If it's me, I'm on quarterback situation. You've had Simpson tie down there. I mean, he know now he's had a year under DeBoer. I think the quarterback. I don't think Alabama has to go find a quarterback. I think Auburn does.
Oh
I
yeah,
think Auburn needs a quarterback. But Alabama, I mean, you've got Simpson down there. So, he's got 1, 2 years, and then of course learns DeBoer's system. So I think he can step in and play. So I don't think Alabama needs to go in the portal, but I think Auburn does. And you
well,
never know who knows which quarterback. Already saw where the USC quarterback's going to bail. So I mean, who knows whichever quarterback's going to throw their name out there and that kind of stuff. But I think Alabama's okay in the quarterback. And Austin Mack's there. He played with DeBoer for
yeah.
DeBoer, so I think Alabama's fine there. But like I said, Auburn isn't. Georgia's not.
Well,
LSU isn't.
oh yeah. Well, Will says Miller seems pretty similar to Nussmeier. Not sure that's good enough for Bama. Agreed. I mean, it's like, no. I want anybody that's similar to Garrett Nussmeier. Sorry. Like you said, our quarterback situations are all good. I just want to see what Keelan Russell will bring. I want to see him start for the next 3 to 4 years. That would be cool. I want to start the Keelan Russell era now.
Jack, I didn't hear you. I don't know if it's me or the connection.
It could be you, but I can check and see. Huh.
Uh, you're there now, but go back.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah. What'd you say? I mean, I don't know if it's me. I'm in a hotel. It may be me. Who knows? I mean, you out there in a
Connection in the mess around.
little Wi-Fi
But
world and all that kind of crap. So, what were you saying?
well, I was saying that I want to try out the Keelan Russell era. I want to start that before we. I want to go with the Russell era, but I mean, I like Ty Simpson, but I like Keelan Russell better.
Okay. Well, I mean, it'll be a good battle. It'll be interesting, but I think Alabama's okay in that situation wherever they choose to go. Other schools are not so fortunate. I mean, Texas is fine. Old Manning's going to come in there and replace um, Ewers, and I don't know what's going to. Jackson Dart. I guess he's gone at Ole Miss, and so we'll see. But I think Alabama's okay within. So we'll see. Auburn's not. So
Yeah.
Alabama needs to focus elsewhere. They need to find them some tackles and some edge rushers because that's where they're hurting. They got good receivers. I think the secondary's okay. Made mistakes, but I think they're okay. Guards, tackles, I think so. Jam and Miller and Haynes are fine. With regard to that, and if we can keep Ryan Williams, we'll see what happens there. Well, can you keep him? Are you going to be outbid? So we'll see.
Well, and according to our
It's
guy,
a different scenario than it was. It's a different everything. Now you're starting every year with a completely different team. Completely.
well, according to our guy, TJ Ronan, the operations manager of The Voice of College Football and co-host of Wolverines Live on Michigan at The Voice of College Football, he's got a source, and he believes that Ty Haywood is predicted to flip from Alabama to Michigan. And this is a report from EJ Holland from The Wolverine at On 3. We need some O linemen very badly. We gotta get some offensive tackles, and I hope this isn't the case that he's leaving for Michigan, because if he does, then Ooh, I'm a little nervous.
I don't trust anything, any of it. I'm gonna tell you, it's all money. It all comes down to money. What they're going, what kind of package, and all blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it just depends. With schools now, it's where do you want to spend your money?
Yeah. Well, Will wants to know from you about the O line. Are they well coached or not talented enough?
I don't. Neither one of those. I think they're just too big, too slow. I mean, bottom line for me, they're just too big. I mean, gosh, they're huge, 350, 350 pounds. I mean, 6'6", 350. That's great to be that big, but that big probably means you're going to be that slow. And I mean, you got a lot of, you got a lot of muscle to move around. So I just think they're too big. I mean, to me, there's a size limit out there and I mean, sometimes you're so big. I mean, you get off the larger you are, the easier it is to get off balance, and you got to really, really work hard for balance and stuff like that. There's a fine line between all of this. Let me say this: back in the old days, like Coach Bryant and them, they wanted. The belief back then was if you were, big, you were slow and lumbersome and uncoordinated, and so you recruited smaller, quicker, more agile offensive linemen. Then over time, training got better. I mean, that's the difference today is these kids are so well trained. I mean, they're going to professional academies and stuff like that. Back in the old days, you were just relying upon your high school coaches, and so now that they better coaching, better technique, better. But at the same time, there's a point where you can be so big that, it's just a detriment. You got a lot of weight. How are you going to maintain the quickness? And to find somebody so big that can maintain quickness is rare. Look at Andre the Giant. I mean, the guy was huge. I remember seeing, he had his hand and the little Coke can. I can't, if I can show it, the Coke can in his hand was like that big, and I was like, good grief. And you watched him wrestling. I mean, he's so big he couldn't even move. And so now we're at the point with our offensive line, we got some that are so big they cannot move. You put a little speedy guy out there, and if you show those clips I pulled up, I mean, Milrow, I mean, he got about sawed in half. Yeah, look up here. So if you look at that right there, I'm showing the circle. There's the defensive end for Auburn. And is that Proctor? I may be saying the wrong name. At the tackle up there. All right, go to clip 2. All right, you can already tell right here that he is off balance. Okay, and the guy already has outside leverage on him. He's going to loop around him. Clip 3. All right, and look right here. This guy's open. But look who's closing up there at the top of the screen. I mean, within a yard or a yard and a half of the line of scrimmage, the defensive end from Auburn is already around. He's gone by. All right, the tackle. And then look at the next clip. Boom. Look at Milrow's head snapped back. I mean, look at it. Look at his throat staring right at you. Look at, is that Bam Miller right there, Jam Miller right there? Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't even get a chance to even throw the ball. I mean, the guy just – so, I mean, there's a point where, 6'5", 360, that's great, but you're sacrificing speed.
That's
Try 6'5", 320. See if you can match up. 30 pounds, lose 30 pounds, I believe you're going to get a little quicker. Anyway, so that's just me. Everybody's got their own opinion, and who knows, but that's where I am with regard to the offensive line. I don't know if I would be surprised if it's coaching. I just think it's just, gotten too big to play the position. All right.
That's not good. But you were talking about speedy guys. We got a win coming on Wednesday. This guy, Ekelin Deer, going to be making his commitment, his announcement, Wednesday at 12 p.m. at the Quitman High School Library. And it looks like he's going to be going over to the Alabama Crimson Tide for the 2025 recruiting class.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, hey, speed, you know, they'll say speed kills. They don't say size kills. They said what? Speed kills. Hey, I'm going to give me some quick guys. Fast twitch.
Number 2 in running backs for 2025. That's a huge win right there. I love that we're getting it. I wonder which he's going to be. If he plays his cards right, he could be up there with Derrick Henry, Trent Richardson, and Mark Ingram, and all those guys. Like, oh my God, I'm looking forward to seeing what this kid brings in his freshman year, sophomore year, and beyond that. I can't wait to see what he brings in Tuscaloosa. How you feeling about this addition? Looking for speed? Seems like we've got it.
Yeah, well, that's what you go for. I want those fast guys.
There you go. I am speed.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. Humongous win, especially from friend of Touchdown Alabama, Justin Smith, reporting on that.
Mm-hmm. And when's that? Wednesday. So tomorrow we have the playoff thing, and then Wednesday's early signing period.
Yep, early signing day. That's correct. And 2025 signing day is February 5th. Yeah. Although let's be real, I wish they'd move signing day over to Valentine's Day, but that's another time for another day. But like, it's Valentine's Day. Sorry, it's called football signing day. I want to know who's coming in. Oh man. So what are the needs that we need for future classes in your eyes? Like I know we need some O linemen very badly. But is there anybody else that you're looking for that you're thinking, we got to fill this position up?
Future needs. Well, obviously tackles. I think we're pretty. I think we got some. Maybe some. I know Dupre and our tight ends. I know probably going to have to look at finding, something with regard to the tight end, and with regard to that. But if me, you take what you can get with regard to. I don't think there's a big need at quarterback. I don't think there's a big need at running back. I don't think there's a huge. The only thing that changes this is here as soon as everything pans out in December, who all's leaving, because you're going to have a bunch of people not happy. Blah blah blah. They're going to leave, and so then maybe a little too early to make. Right now I'm just saying based on what I've seen this past fall, but then we don't know what's going to happen with who's leaving, who's dropping and jumping ship and going somewhere else. So I think as soon as the season's over for Alabama and we'll see who's going to jump ship, I think then we'll know, where to maybe make that focus and where to pursue and recruit and sign.
And our buddy Will has a question for you. Is that the strength and conditioning coach's fault for the O-line? Sorry to keep harping on it. You good, man. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer your question.
Say it again. He's saying what?
He wants to know from you, is that the strength and conditioning coach's fault for the O-line? Sorry to keep harping on it.
No, a lot of times, you have an impact, offensive line. You can tell somebody, look, man, you got too much weight, you're slow. But then it also comes down to the individual player and nutrition. And he's going into the training room. I mean, are you going to carb up and swap down, 13 pancakes every morning with a bunch of maple syrup? Or are you going to get a little more? So I don't know. I'd have to, for me to predict that and say, I'd have to be in there watching and seeing or whatever. But I'd also expect an offensive line coach to say, look, this first step, you're slow. The guy's already got you off balance. He's already, because you take that first back step for pass protection to spread, to fan the offensive line for protection. And then all of a sudden that first step, somebody's already contacted and they've already got leverage on you. And now you're off balance. So your little quickness there. So I think a coach definitely should be on top of that. But as far as nutrition and size, I'm just saying what I've seen is too slow, not quick. And that position out there with an edge rusher, to me, the two players on defense to me that have the greatest impact during the course of the game would be the edge rushers, okay, and the free safety. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of people are going to argue about, linebacker, middle linebacker, if they run, with the middle linebacker scheme. But to me, I'm looking at on the edge, that's where I've got to have speed. And then free safety, that's where I got to have somebody that's got some downfield that can, cut, that outside, cut that, leverage, go tackling inside out, and then also be able to provide that back, that back end protection in the secondary. So I'm focusing on that. I mean, defensive tackles, that's great. Nose guard, that's great. You can get that big push and occupy, but that impact is on the edge, and it's at that free safety. That's where I'm focusing hard.
Well, and looking at this article from Anna Schneider at Tuscaloosa News, and she says that we need to focus on safety as well. We need to get safeties. I mean, we've got Ivan Taylor on there, and Malcolm Moore is going to be gone.
Yeah.
And I've heard like a lot of people say a lot of the seniors have got to go. They got to go for Taylor DeBoer to get his guys in.
Well, here the thing this year that hurt was Caleb Downs left, went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
So if he'd have been back for his sophomore year, I mean, that guy was prototypical free safety. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that guy was strong enough, quick enough, he could get downhill. Okay, anybody started wanting, if somebody broke up the middle or then, outside on the edge, that guy could feel that. He was strong enough. He, had a thumper mentality, and then he was good enough in the secondary to, speed to cover deep and help on, sideline routes and stuff like that. So that really, when he transferred, and I understand why he did. I don't fault him for that. But that right there was a big loss for Alabama. Now Malachi, has done a good job. They're kind of rotating him a lot of different locations back there in the secondary. But yeah, I mean you got to have somebody with speed, and you got to have a thumper at that free safety. Okay, remember Barron. His first name Barron played for us. Mark Barron. Remember him? He was a thumper. And then we had, was it Fitzpatrick, Minka
Fitzpatrick.
And we had some guys back there. I call them little thumpers. I mean, they could come up and lay the wood to you. Okay, and then also be able to cover deep. I'm not was Minka corner or, but anyway, those guys right there, they pop in my head. That's the kind of player you want to recruit.
Here we go. We got the article from Anna Schneider at Tuscaloosa News. Oh, we got 5 commitments on our O-line, but Caleb Cunningham flipping to Ole Miss, that hurt us a little bit. We got one wide receiver, and she says that's good because we got plenty of room for Ryan Williams and friend.
Can we keep Ryan?
I think we can. I believe.
If it were me, I'd go down there and try to pull that. If we had Ryan and we could go down and pull that Coleman kid out of Auburn, that would be pretty sweet. Maybe go back to Texas and get old Isaiah Bonds back.
There we go.
So you could be a living legend in Tuscaloosa. She came back.
There you go.
Remember we talked about him, that Daniel Moore. Remember the catch in the end zone, 4th and 31, and is Daniel Moore, is he going to wipe him out and change the angle back to Jalen making the throw or Isaiah making the catch? Could have been a hero.
There we go. Wow. Isaiah Bond. I mean, that was a great catch last year against Auburn.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, what did he say? That was a business decision. Yeah, it was. So.
Well, we miss him. We'll be pulling for him, but not when we play against Texas. So
definitely not.
But this is the first Monday of December, and that is definitely a wrap for the 15th edition of Crimson Tide Live. And Johnny, what have you got going on this week? What adventures have you got?
ACT.
Yep.
I'm the master of the ACT. I can tell you that I can coach you up. I can coach you up football. I can coach you up whatever. But you want to learn the ACT? I can coach it up. So I'm down here getting ready tomorrow. I'm back in the high schools teaching the ACT.
There you go.
The method to the madness. How you take and answer. Analyze those little questions and let those keywords take you to the correct answer.
There we go. And of course, I've got some busy stuff going on, getting some magic worked up. I'm not just here on Alabama with the Voice College Football, but on my personal stuff as well. Of course, Wednesday night, I will be doing the Pits Analysis Show with Sports Talk with Austin. And Wednesday afternoon at 4:15 p.m. Central Time, Will and Dee and I are going to be having the college basketball recap preview show where we just go over what has been going on with UConn basketball. That's going to be the headline, and we're going to be going over so much more, like the SEC, ACC Challenge, the Big 12 Big East battles, and so much more. And for more updates on what I'm doing on my personal stuff on Jackson Johnson 979 and on future episodes of the Jacksonian and on Crimson Tide Live on Alabama with the Voice College Football, check out what I have to say on Jackson VOCFB on Twitter /X and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And no worries, man. It's I should be back on After Dark this Sunday, but let's just say an old friend needed me, and he's a bigger beagle. So he's dealing with some stuff, and I'll go over more on that later this week. And thank you so much, Will. And like I said, happy birthday to the IT guy of Crimson Tide Live and the Jacksonian. Thank you so much for all that you do. You're the guy that really made all this happen, I can tell you right now. And with that being said, we wish y'all a good night and sleep well. Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. And don't forget to tell your friends, family, and cashiers at Publix about the magic that Jeffrey and I will be bringing on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, on the call-in show where we take your calls on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Click on the notification bell. Like, comment, subscribe to Alabama with the Voice College Football so you never miss another video whatsoever. And we'll see you soon. Roll Tide, everyone.